Hey there guys, it's Tina and I'm back. And I hope you guys are all doing well and staying safe. If you're also back, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me again. But if you're new and maybe you like what you see, please consider subscribing. We have tons of fun here on this channel talking about makeup and all things beauty. And as you can tell from the title and from the thumbnail, we're talking all about the new Makeup Forever HD Hydra Glow Foundation with a couple of extra products mixed in, namely the Haus Labs blushes. I picked up one of the new shades and the Milk Makeup Kush Lip Oil. One shade testing out in this video, but the main focus will be the foundation. I did a get ready with me trying out a shade of this previously in the travel size, so I just wanted to sample it, okay? I didn't think I would love it because it's the Hydra Glow foundation. I have oily skin. I'm not interested in glowing at all. Like, don't sign me up. I want nothing to do with glowy skin. I love matte skin, but I'm not opposed to a natural finish. So a few people recommended that I try this out because they have oily skin and they liked it. So I tested out that lighter shade. It didn't work out as well as I wanted it to because the shade match was off, right? But I enjoyed it enough that I wanted to go ahead and get a proper shade match and also do a wear test for you guys. So that's what we're doing in this video. Picked up another shade. We're gonna test it out on my skin, and like I said, we've mixed in a little bit of extra products, the blush and the lip oil, which I'm gonna rant about the blush specifically, but stay tuned for that. If you want to hear what I think about this foundation, which I'm wearing right now, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Alright guys, so let's jump into it. I'm starting off with a clean, freshly washed face. I did go ahead and fill in my eyebrows. I applied my eyeshadow primer, which as usual is my Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. And then I also went under my brows with my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. Oh my god, I remembered it, in the shade Toffee. And then all over my lids, I have my Merit Solo Shadow in the shade Vachetta. So that's all I did, all over my eyes. But other than that, my face is completely bare. So bare skin, no moisturizer, no primer, no nothing. So we're gonna go in with our Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. I picked up my correct shade. So I already did a get ready with me. I'll link it over here, where I used one of the travel size shades. That was just not the right shade for me. It was too light, and I liked it enough that I wanted to try out my proper shade and do more of a wear test for you guys. So that's what we're doing today. I grabbed the shade 3Y50, which is a deeper shade than the original shade, and it's not available in the smaller travel size, and the next shade up in the travel size is too dark. So we're gonna go ahead and read some of this information, tell you what to expect from the foundation, and then we'll get into the application. So again, this is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow Foundation. It retails for $47 and is available in 32 shades, which is actually not a very expansive shade range. Makeup Forever usually does a great job with their shade range, but right now, it doesn't look that great, if I'm honest with you. And there aren't a lot of rich and deep shades in this lineup, which is pissing me off. So we have the shades that start with 1. Those are for light and fair skin. We have 2, which is for the medium light range. And then we have 3, which is mostly tan and medium tan skin. And then 4 is for the deep skin and rich skin, which makes no sense because that means there are 8 shades that's supposed to cover darker skin tones. And I'll tell you right now, the 4 end shades, like the starting shades, could actually work for me. The 4N62 shade is not that far off from my complexion, and that's one of the richest shades. The only shade that is available for rich skin is 4N78, and that's not sufficient. So they get an X in that box for shade range. The shade range is truly trash. But anyway, this retails for $47, contains the requisite 1 ounce or 30 milliliters of product. The packaging is just a clear glass bottle with a white cap and a white pump. Very basic, very sleek, very Makeup Forever. They tout themselves as a professional makeup line. I shouldn't say they tout themselves as a professional makeup line because that's what they are geared towards are professional makeup artists, but they're leaning into the consumer market as well. On the bottom, you have a black and white label with the shade number and some manufacturing details. This has an intended usage life of 6 months. 6 months is a very, very, very limited usage life. I don't think I've ever gone through a foundation in 6 months. So that is very interesting to see. This was made in France, as with most Makeup Forever products. And I'm looking through the ingredients list. The first ingredient is water, followed by lemon fruit extract, which is a very interesting ingredient to have as number 2. We have dicapryl carbonate, which is a kind of spreading ingredient. Let's go through isododecane, I know as well. That shows up in a lot of foundations. Propanediol, another foundation ingredient. Glycerin, synthetic fluoroflagopyte, which is synthetic mica. There is fragrance in this foundation as well, so be careful if you do not like fragrance. There is jojoba seed oil as well as coconut fruit extract and avocado oil. There is some dimethicone as well further down in the ingredient list. So we're gonna read the details of this foundation. It says, our worldwide collective of makeup artists pushed the boundaries of makeup to create their ideal skincare foundation, HD Hydra Glow. This 86% skincare-based formula hydrates, plumps, and boosts your skin immediately and over time. Its lightweight texture syncs with your skin for a blur effect and even complexion in an ultra-natural radiant finish. Its buildable medium coverage offers an undetectable and long wear result. 24-hour glow, blurring, and hydration, suitable for normal, dry, very dry, and mature skin. I have oily combination skin, so maybe I'm not the best candidate for this. I feel some type of ways, but I do have mature skin because I am 41. There was a consumer perception study of 32 subjects. Notice it says perception study, okay? So it's how you perceive your skin. 97% showed smoother skin. I would assume from a foundation your skin should look smoother, but anyway, 94% showed brighter skin. What does brighter skin mean? I'm not sure, y'all let me know. And 94% showed more radiant skin. Interesting. So radiant means what? Glowy, hydrated? Okay, we're gonna go with you, but they have this highlighted ingredient that is their Hydra Skin Booster Complex. It's trademarked, and it says it mimics the hydrating effect of a sheet mask. I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking I'm just gonna look glowy, hydrated, and dewy, which is not my preferred look. But we're gonna go with it because, like I said, I tested out the lighter shade and I actually didn't mind it. And some of you guys actually said that you liked it as well on your oily skin. So, like I said, the shade that I picked up is 3Y50. 3Y50 is warm maple and it's meant for tan skin with olive undertones. The Y in the numbering is throwing me off because it should mean yellow or golden undertones, but they're saying it's for olive undertones. So that's why I picked the shade up. It looks like it might be lighter than my skin, but once I blended it in store, and I swatched it on my skin in store and tried to blend it in just to make sure I got the right shade match, and it worked out. All right, here's my skin, and I'm gonna time check right now. So it is 3:47. We're gonna go ahead and apply this foundation. It says shake well, so I'm gonna shake it up just to make sure. No one can accuse me of not shaking, and I'm going to use, let's see, 1, 2 pumps to begin with. I'm going to use a new foundation brush, a brand new clean one, so it might absorb a lot of the product. This is the Rephr B02 brush from their creams and liquids collection. It's currently sold out, but I'm sure it will be back. I love this foundation brush. So we're gonna apply this, zoom in. Here's my skin. So I have oily skin, like I said. My T-zone is really my problem area, because I have enlarged pores. Let's see, zoom it in with me. Enlarged pores. My nose gets really greasy. You see that sebum trying to happen? My forehead, I have large pores. Not a fan, and I do have some discoloration all over my skin, as you can see. So I'm looking for even skin tone, a little bit of blurring, and something that doesn't over exaggerate my oiliness. So we're gonna go in with the brush and apply this to the skin. So you see what I mean? It looks a little bit lighter, but as I blend it in, it kind of merges with my skin. So I think this is my shade match. And since it says it's for olive undertones, I was intrigued. I was like, all right, this may be for me. So it absorbs almost immediately. It blends out really quickly. It is a thicker liquid foundation. It's not like a thick cream because it glides easily. And remember, I don't have a primer on, no moisturizer. So it's gliding on my skin really well, but it's not runny either. So it's a more viscous product, but again, not too thick. And you see with the shade match, it's just blending in really well. And it does feel a little bit cooling. A little bit, that's something that I observed recently. I applied it a couple of times just to test it, but it feels like I'm applying moisturizer or skincare, the way it just glides and absorbs really quickly. And that is the end of the 2 pumps. And I didn't get all over my faces yet, but it did the majority of my face. Again, new brush is gonna absorb some of the product, but this is a synthetic brush, so it shouldn't absorb too much. So there you go with 2 pumps. I think my skin looks pretty even, but it's not like full coverage. I'm gonna go with 1 more pump just to make sure we get all the nooks and crannies. But I don't want to overdo it because, again, I have oily skin and this is a skincare based foundation, which we've seen a lot of these now. A lot of hybrid skincare foundation products, which I don't mind actually, because sometimes I don't want to do skincare. I have oily skin, so my preference is really to have my skincare in my makeup. I know some people don't like that because they're like, oh, I'd rather use my skincare and then use my makeup products. And I'm one of the few that actually like the hybrid situation, because that means less product that I have to apply. I can get my hydration, my moisture from my foundation without having to do a separate moisturizer. I'm all about it. So another pump. And I didn't use the full pump either. You see there's still product there. The finish, let me tell you what. It looks very natural. It still looks like my skin, but just a little bit more even. I don't think this is medium coverage. I think it's light medium, if anything. If I had like a scale and medium's right here, it's like light medium. This is full medium, but not quite full coverage. You know what I mean? So I'd say light medium because I think you can definitely build this up. I'm not going to because it has skincare in it. So I don't want to add any more dew. But you see how it evened out some of the discoloration. It didn't completely blank out my skin, but it evened out my skin. So I'm okay with this kind of coverage. I think it's very natural looking. It looks healthy. 97% showed smoother skin. I see no added smoothness to my skin. I'm gonna be frank. My skin looks like how it looked before. 94% showed brighter skin. Do I look brighter? I don't know what brighter means. Am I supposed to be lit from within? I don't know. I don't think I look brighter, but okay. And then 94% showed more radiant skin. Yes. Yes, I'll give you that. If I had dry skin, I would probably look more radiant, but I have oily skin, so my skin kind of looks like this anyway. If I'm honest with you, if I just walked around barefaced, my skin would look like this finish naturally. So yeah, radiant probably for dry skin. You'll have to watch someone who has dry skin for them to give you feedback as far as the hydration goes, but I feel like this is a comfortable level of hydration for, again, my oily skin. Let's zoom in so you can see. You see what I mean? No blurring, no smoothing. It just looks like my skin did, just a little bit more even. Just a touch more. Looks healthy, it looks fine. But again, nothing stellar as for, ooh, is that better? I hope so. So you see, my skin just looks good. It looks good, it just looks like skin. I do need concealer under the eyes though. I'm gonna go in with my tried and true right now. I've been using it for a while. This is the L'Oreal True Match Serum Concealer, which someone asked me recently what I was using as my eye cream. Does this have alcohol? Oh, this has alcohol in it, doesn't it? Hold on, I gotta check. L'Oreal True Match Radium Serum Concealer. Ingredients: water, isododecane. Remember we said isododecane was in this foundation as well. Dimethicone, denatured alcohol. Yes. And I'm telling you right now, you feel it on your skin because there's that, you know how alcohol feels like it's burning? But it's also burning my eyes as it kind of evaporates. I'm gonna put a bit of this around my mouth. Yeah. Right on my chin right here. And we're gonna leave it at that. I'm telling you right now, whew, this alcohol is definitely there. I don't have an issue with products having alcohol in them, denatured alcohol, because it helps sometimes with the spreadability of the product, and it's not necessarily drying out your skin because the combination of ingredients, this has dimethicone, niacinamide, sodium hyaluronate, glycerin, all these skincare ingredients, so any drying effects of the alcohol will be overshadowed by the benefits of those skincare ingredients. So I'm not worried about it. And it blends beautifully. So if you want to know what I've been using under my eyes, is this serum concealer. And I think the skincare ingredients in it are really helping, and I like the coverage. It's a very natural looking concealer. I highly recommend it. Okay. I need to powder because there's absolutely no way that I'm gonna proceed without powder. Time check right now, 3:57. Let's powder a little bit. I'm not gonna cake on the powder, and the powder I'm using is from Kosas. It is their Cloud Set powder in the shade Pillowy, and I'm just pressing that over the skin, under the eye specifically to set that concealer, because I have lines, so it will crease. But this powder doesn't mattify, it just sets. It's not a mattifying powder, it's just a setting powder. It will remove some of the shine of the foundation, but it's not going to completely control oil or change the wear of the foundation. So I'm comfortable using this powder even though we're doing a wear test. Wow, it looked like the lighting changed again. I just got up and turned my AC off. Anyway, foundation is on, powder is on, my skin looks good. I actually really like this foundation with powder, but again, I love the powder, so what am I testing here? But it looks good, it feels good, but I do feel the foundation. It's not lightweight, and it doesn't tout itself as being lightweight, but I just wanted to mention that I actually feel it on my skin. I feel like I have skincare on. So here you have the skin. What do you guys think? Let's come in. Looks good, right? Nice. All right, I do have a new blush to try out. So this is a relaunch of the Color Fuse blushes from Haus Labs. They had discontinued their blushes and everybody was like, what's going on? Because these blushes were great. So why would you discontinue them? In fact, they made it to my favorites list because I absolutely loved these blushes. However, they were expensive and I didn't like that. $38 a pop. But they contained a ton of product that to me is not necessary for a blush. Now they've relaunched them in smaller and redesigned packaging with a color-coded soft touch lid. Absolutely adore that. And the rest of the packaging is still kind of the same with that silver chrome finish. Inside you have the blush with the H embossing, a little mirror. Similar packaging again to their overall aesthetic and to the previous launch. So here's what the older one looks like. So you see it's still the metallic chrome packaging, but instead now we have that color-coded lid. On the back we still have that label, right? Color-coded, but now you can see what shade you're picking up just by picking up the package. Great addition, I really like it. But you see the other big difference, the sizing. So this guy contained 11 grams of product for that $38. A ton of product, like I said. And now this new one contains 5 grams of product. So less than half. So half the size. It's cheaper, but not that cheaper. It's $32 now. So you're saving $6. Which you're probably like, what? You're giving me less than half the product and you only shaved off $6. Are you kidding me? Which initially I felt the same way. I was like, screw you, Haus Labs. But of course, being the person that I am, I thought about it logically. All right, so now I'm getting, instead of 11 grams of product, which was overdoing it, I'm getting 5 grams of product for $32. Price point not matching up based on the comparison to the original one, but let's compare it to other powder blushes on the market, shall we? Go into Sephora and I'm just going to look up blush, okay? So we have the Haus Labs next to Tarte, which Tarte I feel like may be comparable. The Tarte Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blushes, which they've expanded the range and added new shades if you're interested, but these are $30 a pop, so $2 cheaper. And they contain 3.6 grams of product. How much did we say this contained? 5 grams. So Tarte has less product and is still just within $2 price-wise. Interesting, right? Then we have the Too Faced blushes. These are the Cloud Crush Blurring Blushes, which I actually love these. These are really nice. They smell good too. $29, so saving $3. And these contain, 4.82 grams of product, so less than Haus Labs. All right, maybe we can see an offset of that $3 right there in savings. Let's keep going. Dior, should we try Dior? Dior is very expensive, $40. That's 4.4 grams. More expensive, less product. I'm gonna keep going because you know I have to do the research. Makeup by Mario, which I think is a comparable brand again. 4.4 grams of product. They say milliliters here, which makes no sense. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But 4.4 grams of product, $28. Again, less product, slightly cheaper. The Benefit Box Blushes, again, a comparable brand. These are $32, so the same price point as the Haus Labs. These contain 6 grams, so slightly more product. All right. We're getting somewhere. Say blushes. I thought this was a comparable brand as well. This is $32 with 5.8 grams of product. So a little bit more at the same price point. I wasn't really going to dive into like the higher end brands like Gucci and Valentino and Armani because I feel like that's just out of Haus Labs price range. But let's try one because Armani Beauty has a blush that I love. That's $39. $39 and contains 3.6 grams of product. So when people start yelling about the price point of these blushes, I want you to really consider the source. It's just mock outrage at this point because they've not actually dug into the value for money compared against other brands. Because if they're so outraged about these Haus Labs blushes being $32 for 5 grams of product, then they should be outraged at all the other brands on the market that are $28, $29, $30, $32 and contain less product. So what are we really talking about? That's what I wanted to say because I've heard it being said left and right and I'm just like, you didn't even do your research, did you? Did you? Which is something I like to do. I like to compare across the board. How much product is typical? For foundations, it's really easy. It's typically 1 ounce, 30 milliliters across the board. You may get a little bit more, but it's typically 1 ounce and you can just compare direct price points that way, right? With blushes and other powder products, it's not going to be equivalent. So you do have to factor that in. And what my very quick cursory research just demonstrated is that this blush is actually priced pretty well up against comparable brands on the market. In fact, you're getting a little bit more product for the price point in these blushes. So what you really meant to say is that compared to the original, you're getting a lot less product and the price cut doesn't match up. That's true, definitely. However, I think comparatively, again, they're matching up against other brands. Anyway, enough of that tangent. I did want to kind of rant a little bit because I've heard it said from a couple of creators and it kind of grinded my gears. Anyway, there are 2 new shades to the lineup. So they relaunched the entire line of the 6 shades. Like I said, this was my favorite blush line of last year. Was it last year that they debuted? Love them. So they've now added 2 shades. Wait a minute, how many did they have originally? Wasn't it 6 as well? So they've added 2 new shades and removed 2? That's what it seems like, because one of the new shades is Fire Moon, which is a beige peach. The picture on the website doesn't quite line up. This is what the shade looks like. It is more of a tan, orangey lean-in blush, but it's not quite as brown or tan as it looks on the website. I mean, kind of. Let's grab a cute little brush. So this is from Rephr. It's their number 37. Just grabbing a bit of that on my... Ooh. So this shade is one that a lot of people have been kind of raving about. They want to try this particular shade because it's a nude blush. Ooh, that looks a little bit loud, doesn't it? I will start editing my videos and then I'm looking back and I'm like, that blush looks loud, girl. It does look a little bit loud. But I was fearful that this shade would not work for me because I've seen lighter skinned lovelies using it and I'm like, that's not gonna show up, but it does show up on me. It's just not gonna be as intense, which I don't mind. I think they got rid of the red shade, didn't they? Let me see, I grabbed all of mine. So we have Lavender Blonde. I think they got rid of this one. So this one was a cool tone pink. Oh, that's so sad because it did have that purpley hue to it. They got rid of that shade. We have Acai Sky. They got rid of this too. This was a berry. That's not nice, but they did keep Dragon Fruit Days. Beautiful. It's still a cool tone pink as well. Very popular shade. Watermelon Bliss they kept as well. So this is the red shade. And we also have, what is this? Hibiscus Haze. Pomelo Peach is the other one. Where's my Pomelo Peach? Duh, it's the one I was using for size comparison. So this is Pomelo Peach. I mean, tons of product. Like, let's compare the sizes. Oh, a cute little sister, but look at the big guy. Yeah, it was a lot of product. But again, you were getting bang for your buck there. This is now more in line with the market. So there are 2 new shades. This one is the Fire Moon, like I said, and then they have French Rosette. I kind of want to get that shade too. It looks very neutral in person. I saw both shades in Sephora, but I was not going to buy both at that price point, not with the Sephora sale coming up, but I wanted to try the shade so I can give you my feedback. If you're looking for a very natural blush, I think this is a good one. It's a very subtle blush, which I do like a lot. And I am going to go ahead, do mascara, and fix my hair and be right back. Okay, here we are, lovers. We are done with the face. Wait, I applied mascara and I had a smudge. Hold on, let me just remove that quickly. So let's do a quick time check. It is 4:30. We were done with this about, what, 3:47-ish? Let's call it 4. Let's call it 4. And so far, so good, right? I think this looks really nice. I do have a new lip product to try before I do an outside check-in. So this is from Milk Makeup. It is their new Kush Hydrating Sheer Lip Oil. I only picked up one shade, one, because they're pricey and I'm waiting for the Sephora sale. But also, I went in store and smelled all of these and swatched them out. They all just look like clear lip oil with a very slight tint. So do not pick up multiples of these unless you like the scents. You're not gonna get a different look, you're just gonna get a different scent. So if that's what you're pursuing, sure. However, they're all gonna look the same on your lips. The scent is the only thing that's different. So the one I picked up is, let's see, Orange Crush. Let me read the description for Orange Crush. So it says it's citrus with a sheer orange tint. So it smells like citrus, which it does. It smells like an orange candy. I forget which candy that is, but if you think orange flavored candy, those kinds of hard flavored candies like a Lifesaver, but not the gummy version, the hard candy version, that's what it smells like. And it comes in just a little clear tube with the Milk Makeup logo. The shade is on the bottom with a little sticker. We have the silver cap, and the applicator is like most lip oil applicators these days. It's an angled doe foot that looks like a little bit of a finger. That's what I think it looks like, honestly. These are $26. Like I said, they look the same, so the only difference is the scent, and all of them kind of smell how they're described. The mint one, which is the green one, Green Dragon, that smells just like peppermint. I might get that one because I like the scent of it, but I might not. The brown one, which I thought about getting, is chocolate cake, and that's described as cacao with a sheer chocolate tint. It's still sheer, barely registers as chocolate at all, and the scent is like more of a cookie dough. It's a sweet, like, bakery scent. I didn't like it. I actually found it to be a little bit repulsive, honestly, truly. It didn't smell that great. The Pink Magic one is watermelon with a sheer hot pink tint. That one smelled really good. I might get that one just for the scent as well because it smells so good. But I just wanted to try out the one shade to see how long the scent lingered, because if it doesn't linger that long, then who cares, right? Then the cookie dough one is Tahitian vanilla with a sheer rosy beige tint. Maybe that's the one that smelled like foot. That one also smells sweet. It doesn't smell great. I don't like that one either. The chocolate one and the cookie dough one kind of smell similar, and they don't smell that great. The Dream Machine, which is a guava with a sheer mauve tint, that also smells great. It's a fruity sweet smell. I think all the fruit scented ones smell great, and the peppermint one smells like peppermint, but that cookie dough and the chocolate, kind of off. I didn't appreciate that, but I'm not really smelling it right now. When I open it, I smell it, but smelling it on my lips, not really. And it, that doesn't taste good. Ew. That is not something that I need to be tasting at all. So the highlighted ingredients are hemp seed oil, which hydrates, nourishes, and conditions lips for a soft, comfortable feel. We have sunflower oil and coconut oil, which soothes and moisturizes dry, chapped lips. We have Camilla Japonica seed oil, which intensely hydrates and restores lips without a greasy feel. Okay, so it's nourishing, non-greasy. Doesn't feel greasy, feels lightweight. Let's see their results. 100% say lips feel soft and supple. Yeah, I mean, I'm feeling the lip oil. 96% say lips feel immediately hydrated and moisturized. Immediately? Yeah. 90% say lips feel smooth after 1 week of use in a consumer perception study. Oh, here we go. Here's the number of people. 31 people using the product for a 6-hour period and 1 week of use. All right. It feels okay. It doesn't feel like a lip gloss hybrid. It definitely feels straight up like a lip oil. It's not greasy though or very oily, but it doesn't feel sticky or heavy duty. So I feel like it's gonna wear away pretty quickly, but it looks cute. It does look cute. All right, let's go ahead and check in outside in natural daylight so you can see what this looks like. We're gonna use the 430 as our benchmark for the wear test, but here's my skin so far. I look hydrated, right? My skin looks plump and fresh. Doesn't look powdery even though I put my powder on, right? Nothing is settling into lines. I think that looks good on my lips. Ooh, that oil is cute, but I don't smell anything, so I don't think I need the other shades. I might get one, but I won't. I probably won't, because it's not doing anything different. Yeah, I'm good. But here you have it. Now let's go outside. All right, here we have it. We're outside natural daylight. Let me go right in the sun so you can see. This is what the foundation looks like. This is my iPhone camera, but I think this is showing pretty good results. Look at my view. Can you stand it? I think it looks pretty good. My pores are obviously still standing out because I don't think this is a pore filling or blurring foundation. I just think it looks like natural skin, just really good natural skin. So there you have it, full on sun. Ooh, the fish are bouncing around. But here you have it. I think, again, it looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and grab my vlog camera to see if it looks a little bit different. All right, so here we go with the vlog camera, which I think looks really, really good right now. Oh my God, my skin looks amazing. I love my hair too. I think the side part is working out for me. What do you think? Anyway, here's the foundation, and glowy but not too glowy. It looks very natural on my skin. My pores are still showing. It just looks like skin. Doesn't look too blurred, not too overdone. So overall, I like it so far. So we're gonna do a wear test. I'm going to head to Ulta to pick up, I think, a flat iron that's on sale, and then we'll do a check-in later on. All right, it is time for a check-in. It is 7:06, so we used 4 o'clock as our time check, right? 4 o'clock is about the time we put this on, so 3 hours in, and I am due for a little blot. It's definitely a foundation that I would need to blot, in my T-zone specifically. So, yeah. It is not a long-wearing foundation at all, not on me, and I really didn't expect it to be, if I'm honest. I didn't expect it to be long wearing because it is a glowy foundation. So I am going to blot really quickly. We used powder, we didn't use primer, so with a primer it should be a little bit more long lasting. And with a full face, it's gonna last a little bit longer too. But at the 3 hour mark is where I would definitely say a blot is in order, which is not too bad for me. But with a long wear foundation, I usually get to the 4.5 hour, maybe 5 hour mark before I really need to blot, especially if I use a primer. So this one definitely needs a primer, definitely needs blotting. It's a little bit more high maintenance in that way, in that I'll have to touch up throughout the day. So it's not a foundation that I would necessarily wear for a long day or a full night out. It's a foundation that I would wear short term for quick errands, for instance, or for an event that I know I'm not gonna be at for that long, because it looks nice, but I don't expect longevity from it. So I wouldn't wear it at an all-day event or an all-night event, or for like a party where I was gonna be moving around and dancing, because I definitely would need to touch up. I'm gonna give it a couple more hours because I'm gonna head to Ulta right now, and then we'll come back because that will give it some heat and humidity to contend with, and then we'll see how it fares once I get back. So I'll do that check-in in a little bit. All right guys, we are back for another check-in, and I'm gonna wrap it up. It is 8:40. So we've had this foundation on for 4.5 hours at minimum. We've done 1 blot session, and I am due for another one. So let's take a look at the foundation up close again. As you can see, my T-zone has definitely gotten oily. My pores are screaming like, look at me. Things are not looking that great as far as my sebum goes. However, the foundation hasn't separated. It's not settling into lines around my nose or anything. It hasn't split up. So I would mark this as a foundation that has been wearing pretty decently on my oily skin. And the fact that it hasn't split or separated or started showing signs of major wear apart from me being oily is actually a good sign. But again, it's not a foundation that I would rely on for long-term wear. And I don't know how to feel about that. Actually, I know how I feel, but I don't know how you would feel about that. For me, I can skip this foundation. Let me just wrap up with my final thoughts right now. I blotted. Blotting is fine. The foundation still looks okay. I'm sure I can touch it up and it will still look pretty decent. Like, at this point, I would need to buff out some of the oiliness and then repowder. And let's just do that then. Let's just do that and see what happens. So again, there's no real separation of the product. So it's not splitting, which is a good sign. That means it's kind of melding with my oils, and my oils aren't causing any breakdown, right? So as far as that goes, great. However, I feel like I want to scrape this off my skin. Refreshing it? Yeah, definitely I can refresh it. I can refresh most foundations unless they split and break up on me. But do I want to be bothered? That's the real question. And my answer is no, I don't want to be bothered. I want a foundation that I can just blot and be on my way. And I shouldn't need to blot until like 5 hours in. That's my ideal type of foundation. And I didn't have very high expectations as far as wear time goes with this foundation because it's not meant for my oily skin. However, I really didn't mind how it looked. After going in with concealer and powder, I think it looked great on my skin. It didn't feel too heavy either initially, and it wore pretty nicely for the first like 2.5, 3 hours. I think my skin looked great. Outside, it looks amazing. However, about that 3.5, 4 hour mark, I'm looking at excess sebum and my oil started breaking through, which again is not ideal because I would want to have at least 4.5, 5 hours of wear before I would start worrying about blotting and touching up. So ideally, this is not the foundation for me. I think this might be a great foundation though if you have dry or normal skin, because it is a beautiful hydrating foundation. It looks good on the skin. I feel like my skin looked hydrated without looking greasy or oily, and it didn't look overly dewy at any point. So I feel like for normal dry skin, you may really enjoy this. And since it has skincare ingredients, you may really benefit from using it. Or if you're just someone that prefers a more hydrated and more dewy, glowy foundation, but it's not, again, overly dewy. So I can see the pros to this foundation, but just based on my preferences, how I like to wear my foundation, the duration I'm looking for, I just need something more than this. And again, it wasn't recommended for oily or combination skins. So I did manage my expectations that way. Will I continue to wear this foundation? I don't know. I don't think so. I wouldn't go out of my way to use this again. Not with the foundation arsenal that I have in my collection. I have better foundations that I will gravitate towards than this one. You know what I mean? But again, if you have dry skin, normal skin, you may actually like this one. I didn't find it to be offensive at all. And also, after removal, my skin feels great. Again, I've worn this multiple times, so I know what it feels like after removal. Your skin feels like you've been wearing skincare all day. It's like when you wake up after sleeping in your nighttime routine and you wake up fresh and plump and your skin feels great. That's how I feel when I wash this off. My skin still feels good after wearing it for a long day. So overall, not for me. However, I can see someone else enjoying this. So take that for what it's worth. I'm giving you my feedback. There's no scent to the foundation. It does feel a little heavier after a few hours of wear. When the oils start breaking through, I feel like I want to take it off my skin. It doesn't feel lightweight necessarily. You do feel it on your skin. So it's not a lightweight, like airy foundation at all. It has more of a radiant finish. And the price point, I'll say, is kind of steep. It's $47, which... it's a little steep when, again, they're high-end foundations that are about that same price point that are probably better, you know? So unless you can get this on a discount, I'd probably say skip it. Also, the shade range, kind of not that great. Really not that great at all. The one plus is that they have the little mini sizes, which would be great for travel, but that's not even available in the full shade range. You just have, what is it, 6 shades to choose from. So it's like, I can do without this foundation. Again, let me know what you think. All right, the blush, because we did use this new blush. I think this is a cute little blush. It does wear down a little bit. It fades a little bit. I have oily skin. Very few blushes will hold up on my skin, but it held up pretty decently. It's still kind of there, but not really at the same time. But I've been blotting, so I have to factor that in. Overall, I love the formulation of the Haus Labs blushes, and I think this is still in line with that formulation. The new color is a beautiful, like, natural lean-in shade, and I like it. I do like it. I like the new size as well. This is so much better for travel. This is much easier, of course, to pop in my travel bag than this Hunka Chunka. So I don't find myself traveling with the larger sizes. So I like the redone packaging. I like that we have the colored lid so you can know what's inside the packaging. And the price point, like I said before, okay, I've mentioned this over and over again, it matches up against other brands on the market. So that rage baiting of people trying to tell you not to get this because it's overpriced, it's like, have you done the comparisons though? Because really and truly, it's in line with everything else. Everything else comparable on the market, it's the same price point, probably has more product in it. So relax, all right? The lip oil, I didn't love that lip oil. Honestly, truly, it was just so-so. The scent faded really quickly. I couldn't smell it after I applied it, so what's the point, right? I'm selecting it based on the scent because all the shades in the line, there's 6 shades available. All of them look the same on the lips because they're clear. So you're really going for the scent, and the scent kind of fades. It's also not hydrating, so you're really just going for the shiny effect, which kind of fades in about 30 minutes, honestly, and if you're talking, it's definitely gonna wear off quickly. It's a lip oil, so don't expect a lot from it. If you don't mind reapplying, touching up all the time, and you're just looking for a shiny lip oil, sure. Do I think it's worth it? No. There are other lip oils out there that last a little bit longer because they're kind of a hybrid between a lip gloss and a lip oil, so they have a little bit more lasting power. This is strictly a lip oil formula. It feels like a lip oil. It's lightweight. I don't feel like my lips are necessarily nourished, but at the same time, I don't feel like they're dehydrated. I did go in with another lip product after a couple of wears. I was just like, I'm tired of reapplying this. So the lip oil, I can skip. I can really skip that. The blush is cute, I like, and the foundation, it depends on what you're looking for. So there you have it. Hopefully you found this review and wear test helpful for the foundation and of course for the blush and the lip oil. So let me know what other products you'd like to see in this format where I'm doing a review and a wear test of a foundation, but I'm pairing it with a couple more products as well. Let me know in the comments down below, and I will leave links below on where you can pick these products up. Those links will be affiliate links, which means I will get a small sales commission if you make a purchase through any of those links. It's a great way to show you support for the channel. It doesn't change the sale price. It just gives me a kickback for you using my links. So I really truly appreciate you supporting the channel that way because it helps me to put right back into the content. I will also leave links to my Instagram and Twitter where you can follow me along. And until my next video, which will be very soon, I'll talk to you. Bye guys.